Good old Evil Geniuses is back up to it again, Monty. They're back up to their usual shenanigans.
It's our enemies check-in that we're going to start with today because we've got a couple actually. I've got another angle today as well. So we do have Evil Geniuses up to the old shenanigans this time, and I love it.
It's a new character. It's almost like this is like Nerd Legion or on the LFL culture. New character introduced just when you thought, no, that sucks, Monty, because like I was a big fan of that Gamerdoc villain anti-hero. So when it stops the second I go to do it as well, it's so mad. But basically, just when that character left, every time I go to do it, right, whatever, you're not going to get me, devil. So basically, when the Gamerdoc character left, you all thought, like, that's a bit boring. She's gone now, but there's a new character.
And Thorin, I love it when these new characters show up because they're new to the fans. But they're not new to me because, as usual, we I have a rule where I don't go after people who aren't in the public eye, even if I know things about them. But as soon as you expose yourself publicly and you start to get into it online, you become fair game. So here we go, Casey. I got shit for you.
Because basically, if people don't know, I mean, the first obvious joke and irony is this person's actual job title. This is like a meme. This is like we're getting a worse version. It's like a Star Wars prequel is the original EG of like LaPointe Jameson and Gamerdoc. That was bad, Monty. But now we're into the Star Wars sequels because now we've got Casey. And if people don't know, just like Gamerdoc's actual job title, her real job title was Director of Performance, and she was talking shit about how good EG is, and then they had the worst performance ever. And you think, I mean, the jokes write themselves on that one, like your own title's roasting you. This person has come out, and cause Captain Flowers has had the audacity, I mean, in his case, this is quite brave because we all know what he did previously, but because finally he made a joke where he addressed like EG, in this case, because Nicole LaPointe Jameson's deleted her Twitter, he made a joke, which is when EG lost game 1 to Cloud9. He was like, they got deleted quicker than her Twitter, which is actually not a bad joke, but it's good.
It was a good joke.
Decently well set up, and also it's quite topical and it's a hot take. He did it like after game 1, basically. Well, this woman came in, and even though she works for EG, are you ready for the title? It's like, isn't it something like head of global marketing or something mental, like director of global marketing?
Director of global brand marketing. And we know the EG brand's in a really good spot right now, guys.
Well, this is the dumbest part. One, this is already dumb as fuck. Like, if you're EG, you say nothing about your CEO deleting their Twitter, you fucking cretin. You try to kill it with silence. You would never engage with the hot potato and go, you know what, whoa, this is warm. It's really hot. Like, you would say nothing about that. You would. It's already bad enough. I agree. It's bad for you that Captain Flowers, the commentator of the game, has said this. But that's already been and gone. That horse has bolted. You can't then come on. If you come around like this, she's actually made this way worse, by the way. Like, that was just like a shot across the bow from Captain Flowers. A lot of people thought it was funny. It was just like, it was getting a lot of engagement, but it got like double the engagement because of this stupid angle where, because this woman's gone and commented, it's already made it worse with the Streisand effect. And then secondly, she now has entered the fray, like Monty says, on the fucking clown ass, like fucking Seinfeld cast that is the Evil Geniuses hiring group. So if people don't know, the real linchpin to all this is a piece of information I haven't given you before. I don't even know if Richard wrote much about it. He might have not referenced this person by name, but basically the order that it went in was this. We all found out Nicole LaPointe Jameson, because she obviously made herself the face of the brand and did all those obnoxious videos where she was like, this is it, I am a queen, yeah, slay, I am wrecking all the men, and no one will ever be as good as me, go power, like all that ridiculous cliched shit. So she obviously was very public. Then the Gamerdoc person made themselves, like Monty's saying, by inserting themselves in stupid beef. And then what people don't know is there was a third person, I won't say their name because I don't know if this has ever been outed, but somebody who works as a HR person within EG. And I heard basically this triumvirate just hires other women like them, and it just becomes like this mad scenario where like they do, it's like, it actually is like some fucked up Barbie movie. They just run the whole org like, haha, men can't do anything, it's just us women, yay! And then they just run it like fucking on some mad ego trip. And so the problem is, this isn't even a gendered issue, except they've made it one, Monty. The real problem here is the same problem Riot Games have. If you have bad people at the top, they're very unlikely to have the actual eye to hire good people. Then I'd also throw this in. They're not going to because they're incompetent. So if you hire good people, they show you up and you end up getting ousted yourself. So basically, this is just like a classic example of why it is a bunch of bad apples at EG. Like they've just got a fucking clown show of people hired, haven't they? They all do things like I say, where it's like they do the opposite of what their brand title says. Like it's crazy. It's like some mad opposite day shit, isn't it? Like who are you destroying their brand? Brand manager, of course. What the fuck? And who are you, person who's like talking shit about their terrible fuck? I work in the performance department. Like, what's going on here? What's going on? And by the way, last detail, this is a very minor one, but we're going to segue into this. If you've been watching this show, here is the drip feed answer to a storyline you thought was dead and buried. You know that thing, Monte, called the Mandela effect? It's where basically it's a sort of sci-fi concept that some people think's real, some people think isn't. And it's the idea that if there were shifting timelines, maybe you wake up, Monte, one day and you think the famously got being Nelson Mandela. Maybe you think Nelson Mandela, didn't he die in prison in the 90s? And someone goes, no, you didn't know he was released from prison. He became actually like, the whatever it was, prime minister or president of South Africa. Yeah. Now, that's the reason that's the Mandela effect is because the notion is like maybe you were in a different timeline where that did happen and suddenly our timelines emerge. Well, you know what, Monty? I've actually had this effect happen to me most recently because I used to live in a timeline. It's crazy where that guy, Danny, you remember that guy, Kyle Sabaski or whatever? He used to actually not only be on EG, Monty, this is crazy though. He used to be part of their creator collective. Honest, I'm not even, mate, I would never lie. You know me, I'm telling the truth. Genuinely, he was part of their creator collective. They used to be a CEO. She was on Twitter and everything called Nicole Point Jameson. The Twitter was till point. I know you can't find it now. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you guys, it's like a horror movie. I've brought you all back to where they were doing all the evil shit. And when we opened it, there never was anyone renting this apartment. Like, what the hell? I swear they were there. So, and you're not going to believe this. He's not even in their creator collective now, Monty. I've looked it up. He's gone completely from the website. I swear, guys, I'm not crazy. Please don't put me in an asylum, please.
Yeah.
But my universe, that happened. He was part of their collective and everything. He was streaming Lost Ark. I know that game doesn't even exist, but he was. He was streaming that. I swear.
I saw Izento, who is a reporter who does some journalistic work in the scene. He tweeted that I guess he went into the Wayback Machine and saw that on June 9th, that was the date, the last date in which Danny was listed on the EG website as part of their creator collective. So shout out to Reddit, who just ate that story up when it was announced that he was going to be part of the creator collective, and it wasn't some sort of contractual cover-up by EG, which it absolutely was 100%. That is, I don't know how you could possibly deny that at this point in time. It was always a sham, guys. And he never really was going to stream, and he was just there to kind of, get paid temporarily for all of the crimes that EG had committed against him previously.
Allegedly, in a video game.
Allegedly. But as for the director of global brand marketing, I mean, hilariously, here's some stories for you. So this person responded to Captain Flowers. Captain Flowers says, EG's lead disappeared faster than Nicole's Twitter. That game one was wild, bro, which is funny.
Nothing at all actually offensive about that. Remember, the person did one, they got wrecked. He's not even doing it. He's not even saying like they're shit. He's just saying they got wrecked, basically. And then secondly, that's just factual. She did delete her Twitter. Like, what's weird about this is, look, fuck Captain Flowers. You all know my feelings about more of this, exactly this shit. But like, he hasn't done anything wrong yet. This is actually it's very sort of tame fucking banter, and it's good. But
it's funny.
Nothing funny tweet about this. Yeah.
And what's so hilarious too is that if you're the director of global brand marketing, you, at least, I don't know how long she's been working there, but Nicole basically made herself the face and brand of Evil Geniuses. So it's actually a massive problem as for you, the director of the global brand, that all of a sudden the person who intentionally made herself the face of the brand deleted her Twitter. Because when you do that, you have to maintain that presence. Otherwise, you don't have a brand anymore. So what is the new brand, Casey, that you guys are going after? So she just responds and says, unprofessional and out of line. Be better. So first off, I've been gone on rants for a decade about this, about what professionalism.
That's some fucking what Tumblr
be
level.
Better.
Just be nice. Just be a better person.
First off, please. I don't think Captain Flowers was being a bad person in this tweet. And second off, when people say what is Captain Flowers' professional job? Because last time I checked, it was being an entertainer. So here's the question. Is this tweet entertaining? Yes, it was. So he is actually being professional in making this tweet. And she responds later on and says, like, to other people, and says, he is a leader in the space that I respect and a representative of Riot. He's a freelancer. Let's be clear. He's not even a full-time employee of Riot, so he's not a representative of Riot. He is not, okay?
And he's not on the broadcast, he's on Twitter.
Yeah. If I had to guess,
at least if you don't get it, fans, it's different what he says on the Riot broadcast. Look, I still think this would be a fine joke, but like to go after what he says on his Twitter implies that now like every tweet he does is representative of Riot. Like that seems unreasonable, guys. Come on.
Yeah, especially because he's not part of the full-time esports department. He's not a leader within the esports department, so it's just not true. He, if I had to guess, he's probably not supposed to be singling partnered orgs out or roasting their leadership publicly. He's not roasting their leadership. He's pointing out a fact that Nicole deleted her Twitter. He said nothing about Nicole. So this is clear.
Thomas, facts and logic are right-wing talking points nowadays, mate. So you have to understand that ship sailed. The other thing, by the way, there's a little detail people might not know, actually, because this is a CSGO-related topic. This isn't even the first time EG's done stupid shit like this, Monty. You probably don't know this because it's a very small story. But basically, earlier this year, right after all that stuff with Cassard and the GamerDoc stuff, right, with all the when they beat Heroic and she was popping off, etc., right, when they did that season of Pro League, the one that FaZe won and won the Grand Slam, when they were in Malta doing all this stuff, because it's supposed to be like a chiller vibe, you know, it's more of like a bit like our events like Flashpoint and the Summit where you're doing skits and stuff. It's not supposed to be as hardcore in the group stage part. They actually did like a bunch of funny skits about EG. They had one where they pretended like, you know, Cassard was getting like removed from the building because he wouldn't stop talking about EG or whatever. And they just did a bunch of jokes, right? Because remember, EG, if people don't know, to this day is still losing LAN best of threes. They're on like an insane streak of like 11 that they've lost in a row or whatever. Ever since, no joke, that woman talked shit about them winning one game. They've lost every single LAN best of three since then. But the maddest part is this, Monty. It turned out, I think it was Richard that like exposed this. It turned out because the talent had the audacity to make fun of EG, because remember, there's an LCS in League of Legends, in CSGO rather, but there's the Louvre agreement if you work with ESL, for example, where technically people like EG are partners with ESL. They just used that for real to put pressure, and the talent was just told at Pro League, like, yeah, don't make fun of EG anymore. That's the world we live in, mate. So now these cocksuckers not only ruin the fucking broadcast with shit teams that don't win the game, they then ruin the broadcast by complaining that you're making it entertaining. The reason why that is actually cancer is because when your team has utterly ruined a broadcast with a shit game, actually I'm saving the broadcast if I make it funny and entertaining and make a meme about it and make it memorable. Like otherwise everyone just wishes they had this like 2 hours back now. Like I hate that so much, Monty, especially because think about the original EG with like Alex Garfield, etc. They understood their whole fucking brand was media, and it's all about like having bigger personalities. And even if you lose the game, you want controversy and you want fucking like Hawk and Idra talking shit, and whether they win or lose, you want the camera time. So these guys just don't get it, mate. It's the real problem. I'll come all the way circle is this. These are people LARPing at doing this job, Monty. Like, they don't really know what they're doing, but they just think like, oh, it's like they think they're in a movie playing a character that is a CEO. Like, well, here's what I would do. It's like, just do it. Just be a CEO now. It's like the whole thing, right? I would say about the GamerDoc thing, Monty, goes like this, because that person, believe it or not, even reached out to me. It's like this. Their whole angle sort of like, oh, you know, maybe I went like too far. I was trying to like fake it till I make it. Like, you don't have to fake anything. You actually have real world qualifications in your field. Just come in, be a little bit quieter, read the room sort of, do your job that you're good at, build a reputation. You don't have to fake anything. You can just, I'm sure you actually have some skill set. Just stick to that. Don't do all this shit. Because if you notice, half their problem is like this. Like, why is the marketing brand director just like berating a fucking caster? Like, by the way, in her own logic, even though she's not using this, by her logic, her tweets represent EG directly. I'm sure she doesn't believe that. I'm sure she thinks it's her personal opinion, but Captain Flowers represent Riot. You know what I mean? I'm just sick of that whole game, mate. Like, you're not the org to do it, and then also like just do what you're good at. I'm sure you all have a skill set, for fuck's sake.
I'm not sure, because here's the thing. If we actually look at this person joined EG in February of 2022 last year.
That long ago. Okay.
So, you know, it's been about a year and a half, and what have we seen in terms of the brand? So we've seen the brand absolutely tanked as a result of the Danny incident, as a result of the poor performance of their teams, as a result of them releasing their very popular Dota 2 team over this time period. Have we seen their
messaging on this? The marketing angle, Monty, has been terrible. Like, not only there's certain things they've just never addressed, like the Danny thing, and then the other one is, I'll give you a mad one people forget because obviously it was like LCS related. Does no one remember? They did an actual post on the EG account, Monty, that was something like about how, like, you know, they were things were looking up in esports. This is like something mad, like a week before they cut all the LCS team. Like something mad, like about how there was going to be hirings, and then they just cut like the whole fucking team, including the coach and stuff. Everyone except George got fired from the team, basically, or benched or reduced salary.
Yep. And
that's been probably one of the worst parts of it.
Let's talk about how their marketing has been going. Like, they didn't address any of these issues at all. The marketing has been a complete disaster. If we look at their creator collective, as usual, guys, you can go to youtube.com/@creatorcollective, which is EG's Creator Collective YouTube channel. They have 119 videos and only 744 subscribers on this channel. They have been releasing, videos. Some of the videos in the past 2 weeks have gotten 65 views on YouTube. Okay. They basically, all of their videos from the last month have either like 200 or fewer views. On their main YouTube channel for Evil Geniuses. Remember, this is a channel that was built.
I see when Nicole was dating Travis. He seems like a medium mogul compared to he's up at Murdoch or something.
So Evil Geniuses has a YouTube channel that was built off of their Dota 2 team, by the way. If you look at the most popular videos, almost 120,000 subscribers. They have been releasing videos in the past week. Basically, their comms checks from LCS get about 2,000 views. Everything else has a few hundred views, so less than 1,000 views on a channel with 120,000 subscribers. It is very difficult to do this badly on YouTube. We released new channels, guys, on LFN, which, by the way, go check them out, Last Free Nation Culture and Last Free Nation Sports. And our videos on brand new channels are already getting 10,000, 15,000 views. It's hard. It's tough. So they're providing no brand value to themselves, no brand value to their sponsors. And also, here's something fun for you, Casey. I know people who have been working at Evil Geniuses who have said that you coming from the MLB, you know nothing about esports and that you are wildly incompetent in this space. Those are people who've worked with you. And they're not going to tell you that to your face, but there you go. Because you're a hot talking point among EG employees, gotta say. So, I don't know what to say. Like, especially, why would you hire somebody from MLB to reach them kids? Famously out of touch, Major League Baseball, struggling to have fans under 70 years old. And this is the person you get.
Well, wait a minute. I actually, when you say it like that, that is actually even more mad because it's essentially, if you don't know, the sport with the oldest average fans, and you're trying to connect with the youngest average fan. That is like, what
hello,
did you
fellow kids?
What's even the angle there? Like, hey, I know what the kids love. They love dances, don't they? The TikTok generation, Monty. Hello, my baby. Hello, mommy. How boomer is this shit? What's next? The EG vaudeville show. I can't handle it.
Actually, would be an improvement on some of it.
Just Daddy coming in riding a penny farthing, a massive fucking wheel.
I would watch that.
Oh, here's Monty. Actually, that is their era, to be fair, Monty, because obviously they're snake oil salesmen, aren't they? They're all grifters. They're just Pete's Dragon traveling across America, selling their snake oil that they're all an evil, they're fucking EG or corporation or whatever. Like, that's nonsense, isn't it?
The crazy thing is that they all believe their own snake oil, and then they go up. Like, you can tell, guys, that the mind virus is so deep at EG right now that the director of global marketing, she's so out of touch. She thought it was a good idea to make this tweet. She is actually, like, just as you say that, she was GamerDoc is the director of underperformance. This person is basically the director of destroying your brand. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why?
What I
You're just
appreciate
making it
is,
worse.
like, first of all, if you were going to make a Spinal Tap-esque mockumentary about a bad esports team, you would call it Evil Geniuses. And then secondly, like, this is actually, like, for real. Like, every person in these top positions is like a mockumentary. Because, like I said, they do the opposite of what their job title is. It's so mentally, I know. So mad, the whole thing. The only good thing is this, as usual, like, at least this isn't like one of those, I mean, obviously the Danny part was, but the rest of it is just comedic relief to me. Like, I enjoy it. I just laugh at it and let it fucking go by, mate. Aside from the Danny shit, at least this is just like plain, typical grade stupidity of esports being a clown show,
Yeah. You know what I love, though, is that, on a long enough timeline, Thorin, our enemies just all destroy themselves through their own incompetence, which is hilarious. You just got to wait.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.